What's going on, y'all? It is your girl Ray P back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I'm not here alone. I am here with my co-counsel, my road dog, my friend, second chair, Kyron Richardson, aka K Rich. What's going on, friend?
Gang, gang. What's happening, Ray P?
It's
Oh,
Wednesday. Yeah.
it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. First and foremost, good to be here with you as always.
As always.
Never get tired of that. Shout out to all y'all out there for continuing to follow us, listen to us. We
Yes.
appreciate you. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share. We had 2 episodes and one last week.
Crazy.
We're back to singular. All right,
Hmm.
Reasonable Doubt season 3 streaming on Hulu. This episode titled "Run This Town." Of course, shout out to Jay-Z, Blueprint 3.
The whole
Um, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I want to get into your opening thoughts and the whole nine, but before we do, just want to remind everybody out there, if you are listening and you subscribe to the feed, then you'll also know that we are covering the morning show
for
on Apple
sure.
TV Plus. I was traveling this past weekend, so the schedule is a little bit off, but they should be releasing Saturday. I don't know. I'm gonna talk to Rachel about this if we want to keep dropping them on the same day or not. Maybe one on Saturday, one on Monday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But either way, we record on Saturdays. You'll get them soon after that. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. But when it comes to Reasonable Doubt, this episode is directed by Jade Holmes Christian, written by Ryan Richmond, in the synopsis. As Ozzie's behavior jeopardizes his bail, Jackson uncovers a dark secret while juggling the return of a personal matter and unexpected arrest. Bill is forced to choose between loyalty and ambition. Rachel had a lot of different things going on in this early season 3. What's your opening thoughts on the episode?
Well, first off, shout out to you and your whole encyclopedia knowledge because shout out to Blueprint 3, but all I kept thinking of was Jay-Z, Rihanna, and them run this town. So
That is that's the song.
that's on Blueprint 3.
Yeah, that's on Blueprint 3.
Oh,
Track four, right before Empire State of Mind.
oh, check you out.
I mean, well, I will say this: Blueprint 3, low keys. It's bottom 3 Jay-Z album for me.
Really?
Which it wasn't like that when it came out, but as you get over time, you listen to it. It's just a lot going on that album.
Shout out.
Probably one of my least like re-listened to albums. I got certain tracks that I'll go to, but I listened to it the other day, maybe 2 weekends ago. I had a extensive drive and I put it on, and I was like, yeah. Now, granted, Jay-Z albums are still better than 90% of stuff out there, but it's not. Yeah, I don't need to re-listen to it all the time.
For sure. That's very interesting. I don't know. When I think of him and his retirement, Blueprint 3, and that song feels so much more recent than what I have for Blueprint, albeit 3 in my mind. So I don't know what kind of brain fog I got going on, but here we are nonetheless. To
And it's a
answer,
Wednesday.
it's a Wednesday. To answer the immediate question, high key, I love this episode. Better than episode 2 for me. um there was so much going on. Obviously, Jax is the protagonist, so it was a Jax heavy episode. We talked last night when recording the morning show about a heavy Alex. So here we are again on this show with a very heavy Jax episode. Shout out to Ozzie, who also has a lot going on. We got a better glimpse into his life and his foolery. Shout out to Cisco and the thong song, because whether you're a high off person or not, the thong song still goes. And
Yeah, shout out,
Cisco doing his good singing. So
shout
I
out to Revo, man.
for sure. Shout out to Drew Hill. Shout out to Baltimore and all of that. Um, I have a different perspective of Bill. While I
Mm.
do believe Bill to be crazy as hell,
Yeah, I
I
got questions for you about Bill. I
yeah,
got questions for you about Bill.
I don't have the same vitriol that I had for him last week.
Okay.
While we did get a little Lewis, we didn't get too much, but his scenes were small but powerful.
Yeah,
Uh,
very impactful.
Impactful, that's the word I was looking for. So
Damn, you usually helping me. Look at
I
me.
that's
Look at me.
Hey, that's how you know.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Jay-Z, even the garbage can gets a steak, you know. So
That's
it's all good. She
oh.
said that's how you know I fuck with it.
Shout out to the Cosby Show, the episode where Denise presents her husband. I can't remember his name right now. And she brings him on Dabness, not Vanessa. Vanessa brings Dabness, and she's like, do you want you have this steak and it's well done or medium rare, however you want it. Potatoes, it's sizzling, but they bring it to you in a garbage can.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
still? Yeah, that's my favorite show and my
yeah.
comfort show.
Shout out to the Cosby Show.
Which I'm very much in need of right now, but here we are. So those are my thoughts on the episode. It was a very easy watch. It really didn't feel like an hour's worth of an episode. It went really quick for me. So it made the multiple watches very easy. How about you?
Same. Most enjoyable episode so far.
Mhm.
Reasonable Doubt is just one of those shows that I don't want to say it's a gimmick, but the build up and how it's coming. So each and every episode is going to intensify more and more. And I didn't expect it this early, but I'm already hooked and learning more about these characters. They're giving you just enough, but not enough
Yeah.
when it comes to these new characters and what's going on. Obviously, the microaggressions and passive aggressiveness or direct aggressiveness in some cases during this episode towards Jax is a little bit disheartening because this is season 3. We've been seeing her treated this way
Mhm.
as a partner. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of
Yeah.
wild how everybody's out to get Jackson. Like you mentioned,
It's
Bill,
how they do black women in corporate America. No.
they out here, they out here wilding on our girl. And yeah, they do black women foul.
Jax too.
Um, yeah, I definitely have some Bill questions for you
Okay.
because yeah, I think Bill's gonna be all right. I think Bill's gonna be okay. But there are going to be some hiccups along the way.
For
And it
sure.
really just a lot of it's going to do with what's going on at home. I got some questions for you about that. You mentioned the Lewis of it all. Yeah, man. What a rough situation to be in. I have thoughts, but I'm going to save them until we get into the order. So all of these things are happening and going on. And we actually see that Ozzie was at home
Yeah.
the night of. And Alex Hill is someone that we need to keep our eyes on and figure out what's what. But Rachel, with all of the things that are going on, even Daniel's new crush, uh,
Mhm.
you know what I
Who I
mean?
thought was gonna be Kristen.
Hey man, I meant to say this at the top. Rise, shine, give God the glory. Um,
Amen.
we didn't
Shout
even. Yeah, I meant to say that to you at the top. Um, and we definitely got to get into Naima as well because
for
Naima
sure.
out here wilding, but that's a
For sure.
big hole connection to the whole Lewis of it all. So, where do you want to start? Where do you want to get into? Who do you want to talk about? We have a lot of different options, and they're all going to be entertaining. So, let's get to
Yeah, well, first shout out to Lewis in the Rise and Shine and Give God the glory. That was unlocked. That unlocked a core memory for all the
it.
Vacation Bible School kids. You all know about it. Vacation Bible School and like private school.
I say, yeah, definitely Vacation Bible School. And was that your? I'm saying it like Rachel's just a stone cold. She's a stone cold. I don't want to say criminal, but a habitual troublemaker. I was going to ask you, was that your experience having to stay home from school? But I don't know if you had to stay home from school. You were just grounded. Who knows if that school was actually involved with it?
Yeah, no, I was an excellent student.
Yeah, yeah. I'm about to say, I know you were. It's just outside of school.
It was the extracurriculars that really got me in trouble. When I was on punishment, I couldn't. I could leave with my parents, so I was never suspended or anything. So I've never even gotten like a demerit between preschool and 12th grade. Like
Same. Same. I never even got an in school suspension. None of it.
I've never. That is not my
Detention.
lot in life. So I didn't do that. But when I was on punishment, I do had shit like I couldn't stay home by myself, or my mama took my house key.
What a
Shit,
punishment that is.
yeah, shit like that.
Seriously, not being able to sit home by yourself, especially at a certain age, it's like,
Bruh,
man,
bruh. Crazy. And it was so funny because it was this inside joke. So I don't know if I've told this story, but my parents they still do bowl in a league. And so at the time of my punishment, I could not stay home. And so the joke with one of their teammates would be like, you must be on punishment. You're here at the bowling alley.
They knew exactly what was going
I
on.
would be on punishment.
Yeah, that's the only reason you're here. Why else
Exactly.
would you be hanging out the bowling alley? You ain't supporting.
Well, I too used to bowl in a league for many
Oh,
years. Oh,
oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
how did I not
we
know
all
this?
bowl. We all bowled. So we would bowl in the so I bowled in the school bowling league, not in high school. I was too cool by then. Um, but
Hold on, man.
it,
Talk about what is it with niggas? Because we got somebody we went to school with that's a good bowler, right?
uh-huh.
Really good, can bowl 300s and all that. And it's always that niggas is too cool for bowling in high school. I wonder what that's
But
from.
see, so here's the thing, this multifold, and part of that is the high school that I went to.
Shout out to Central.
Shout out to Central. It wasn't no cool black people that was bowling. It was on the team at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in elementary school, when we all, if you chose to do the bowling and this and the third, you could go, and all the other black Catholic schools, they also were bowling, you know. So you could go and get your little crowd of people. And I'm sure, and you had a good team essentially. I'm sure that the high school bowling, the other schools were there, but at Central, the bowling team was like the people that are professional bowlers now. When you look at them, you're like, yeah, I could tell what you were in high school. So
Mm,
I was not a part of that crew. So
fair.
blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we would bowl in the mornings, the all stars, the junior all stars, and then my parents bowled in the afternoon. So I could still go bowling and this and the third for me in the morning, but then I would have to come back. Shout out to University Lanes in Toledo, which was Gators, and I don't know what it is now, but
Oh, shout out to Gators.
yeah, that was a bowling alley in Toledo for most of my childhood. Well, really up until it became Gators. It was a
Gators,
bowling
and
alley.
then turned into Omni.
Oh yeah, Omni. Shout
Yeah,
out to
shout out.
University
I heard
Lane.
that whole. I know we're gonna get into the episode, y'all. I promise. But I heard that whole block is like just torn down now. Like the restaurant that was on the corner, the little mess.
Maxwell's?
Yeah, Maxwell heard that's going. Like, I don't know if this is true or not.
I don't know.
Okay, fair,
I'll have to
fair.
roll down Bancroft next time I'm home. Shout out to the city. But blah 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 blah. I don't even know how we ended up on that tangent. I don't remember the question.
I was asking you about staying home from school if we
Oh
had to
yeah, it
travel.
was at my lot of life. No, but Rhonda, she wouldn't really be blasting gospel music because she wasn't a big music in the house person. Um, so no. Yes and no, but I couldn't just be laying around to Lewis's point also.
Yeah, I guess I could have just asked that, and then we ended up on that whole side tangent. But nah, I feel that.
Yeah.
All right, now where do you want
Mhm.
to start? Where do you want to get into
Actually,
it?
let's start with Bill.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into Bill.
Yeah, so when we see Bill at the top of this episode, he's calling somebody who clearly has him blocked or is ignoring the call. And I really I didn't know what to make of it other than knowing that it would be something important later on in the episode. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. Then we realize when we see him again, the partners are asking him to really, really spy on Jax. And we saw it in the previous episodes, but they were not as blatantly clear with their messaging as they were in this episode. And we saw them throughout these 50 something minutes constantly undermining Jack. And one of the partners goes on, one of the other partners goes on to say there's something in the works and we can't say it yet, but your help with giving us the lay of Jax's land will be beneficial to that and will help you become a partner. And to Bill's credit, he's like, now, wait a minute. Y'all told me if I was able to join her team and maybe to learn from her, then that would increase my chances. And now here y'all are asking me to cheat,
Mm-hmm.
to backstab her in order to get ahead. And my initial impression of Bill was that he would have jumped at the chance to do that, because that was the impression that we got from him in the first two episodes, that he was
Yeah.
not somebody to be trusted. Now, do I think he might be a little mentally? Yes. Howsoever, I don't know that he is the backstabbing, conniving, do anything to get ahead person that I had previously imagined him to be. Do I think he's going to oblige the partners? Low key, probably yes. But I do think that he will keep some things to the chest. I don't anticipate him running back with every little detail every time Jax blows her nose.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I agree. I was going to say the same thing.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily that Bill is going to be 100% Team Jax
Hmm.
and go back and tell her, here's what the move is, here's what they're plotting. But I do think there is a sort of integrity with Bill, where
Hmm.
in those first two episodes, I thought he was just another person trying to move up the ladder.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that offended him when Steven and I forget the other guy's name, when they came to see him was, I'm good enough to get this on my own merit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to have to play these games, because once you start playing games, especially in the corporate world, in the
Mhm.
street world, whatever type of world, A, your reputation is going to be known for that. So those people making decisions, you low key can't be trusted,
For
because
sure.
you might do the same thing to get ahead in a whole different situation. And
And
B,
they know that
you
too.
in my pocket. Yeah, and B, you in my pocket. You
Yeah.
in my pocket. Anything, it's all I can corner you. Hey, you want people to find out how you really became partner? You hold that over my head. That Owen, shout out to Mike from The Wire, man. That Owen niggas for shit. That ain't me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Bill, I think, took as an offense. Like, yo, like I'm not, and I'm above this. I'm
Yeah.
above doing grunt work and spying on Jackson, this, that, and the third. So I do think, yes, I want to move forward. I want to be a partner. A little bit of me thinks like, you know what? Let me keep both sides close and see which
For
one is more
sure.
beneficial to me.
For
Because
sure.
even at the end of the episode, when he pops in on Jax, and I don't know, He's doing Joseph Sikora is doing a real good job of me not. I don't know if he's selling shit or if that's really how he feels. Like, I don't
I
know if
would
this is,
say he's buttering Jax up a little bit.
yeah, like the story about, do you know why I wanted to work for you, Jax? Is that real or is that bullshit? And I said it earlier, the reason why I want to know a little bit more about what's going on at home is because I think that helps me with this. Like, why is he out the house? Why is he estranged from his wife? Why is his wife rolling her eyes when he calls and telling this nigga to go? This is ridiculous to you, only to you. That's what she says in response. Any idea of what Bill might have done to be in this situation? Any kind of guess? I know we don't have enough information to really make an educated guess, but I'm really trying to figure out what it is and if Bill's crazy or if Bill just really misses his family and it is a minor offense. Maybe he did do something very minor that he knew better than to do. Who knows? One of those, hey, if you miss another recital, shout out to Morning Show, you out of here. If you break our kid's heart again, you out of here. If you cancel a date with me, we're out of here. It could have been something light that he doesn't see as a big deal, or was it something more serious?
I am a wee bit torn because we see people all the time try to use wanting to see the kids as a ploy to get in the house, this and the third, and maybe it's not genuine. But part of me is like, damn, he really did something and the kids were affected in XYZ way, and she's protecting him. And that could just be me having my cape on for women. Like, I hope she's not being ridiculous and not even letting him see the kids despite what they have going on. But side eye.
You see, he looks capable of it. That's it's you
He
don't
looks
know.
capable. That's the thing. So the easy answer is maybe you got caught cheating.
I don't
Maybe.
see him as a cheater. I don't take Bill as a cheater for some reason.
Yeah, but that doesn't it doesn't curl all the way over for me. Maybe you accidentally hit her. I don't know, because consider
He does seem like someone with a temper.
you seem like a temper, maybe a little recreational blow. I don't know. Especially when we learned his story, like did not have um the traditional path to law school. He was older. He wasn't fresh out of undergrad or an MBA program and then going directly to law school. So he likely, we know that he's a junior partner, but he likely finished very recently,
Yeah,
despite being an older person, married with children, because we can assume Bill is in his 40s or
yeah,
at least late 30s.
yeah,
You
billable
know,
Bill.
so
Yeah, he's got to be. I
so
hate how they. My fault. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I don't know what he did, but I do think it was something big, low key.
I just hate how the man just hold things over your head like that. Just really, I hate for those billable bill hours to go to waste. Pretty
Yeah,
much telling them either you do this or you're just gonna be where you are forever. And of
yeah,
course, a lot of people might be thinking, well, why don't you just go somewhere else? You got your law degree, go to like just like any other job, starting over
for sure.
and putting in that sweat equity that you have with a new company, and it's just a lot. So it's not just the easiest things. Not to mention, he has other things going on in life where change like that might not be the most feasible for him due to the home life. So um, I usually get a very good read on people early, and I don't know what's going on with Bill. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as time goes on and
For
how
sure.
this looks. I think that pretty much covered him. We I don't think there was anything else this episode, but he is going to be somebody that plays a major part in the upcoming episodes.
Let's go, Ozzy.
Let's go, Ozzy. The
Ozzy got a lot going on,
They
baby,
went full. They went full child star with Ozzy.
for
Full
sure.
child star.
And in the lowest of keys, I'm kind of glad they did. At first, I didn't know how I was gonna take. I didn't know what impression of him I had initially. I knew he was a liar, obviously. Um, got some questionable behaviors other than the lying, but did I anticipate ODing in the house, carrying on, your sister sneaking your drugs? No, I did not.
Right.
But shout and a history of addiction. We learned that as well. So to your point, he's everything they say about child stars, every stereotype, Ozzy is essentially meeting that. He has an arrested development. Word to is Dr. Henderson the therapist or the drug doctor?
Dr. Owens is the therapist.
Okay, shout out to Dr. Owens.
Yeah, Dr. Owens.
Dr. Owens for that assessment. So when we see Ozzy, there is a montage of him tripping, being out, fighting with paparazzi, Jack's in the courtroom trying to negotiate all these things because Ozzy is on house arrest
Mm-hmm.
and he
Which
violated.
it sounds like he wasn't initially. Like he was just let free on bail, and then when Bill said something, there was a moment when Jack says to the partners, "Not Bill's finest moment." He mentioned something that the judge said, "Well, maybe he doesn't need to leave the house." I think that's when he got put on. I don't know if you read it like that. I was curious.
Okay, so the way I wrote it, he's assaulted the paparazzi, then placed under house arrest, as to which he violates it by going to the
Yeah,
community XYZ gym or not. I didn't understand with the sequencing if the assault on the paparazzi was on the way to the community gym or whatever it was in
that
their
was a
mind.
grocery store. My
Mhm.
main thing is, are we to believe that he was just set on bail and free to go anywhere until those events happened? He
Uh,
wasn't initially on house arrest when he left jail, was he?
I'm not sure. I thought that he
Okay.
was already going to be at the house because typically when you have said events and you're basically about to be on trial for murder, they don't really want you going too far. So
Fair.
so maybe he wasn't on house arrest, or maybe there were designated places that he could go in, the community gym or whatever was not part of that. And so we see that you have a violent streak, which, considering the murder trial of it all, yes, you need to sit your ass in the house. So because of that, he ends up being babysat by his sister Kristen, and Jax pulls Daniel, her investigator, in on the job. Again, when we started, you mentioned Daniel having a crush or being in love with somebody. I thought that he and Kristen were building a chemistry. I liked their banter, and I have some thoughts.
Mm, okay.
I have some thoughts. But while in this house, Ozzy is high as hell again, jamming to the thong song, which nobody's mad at Drew Hill or Cisco because the thong song knocks even now.
It's about.
But as fun as things are, and as good a conversation that we see, we hear a thud. This nigga falls down dead essentially because of an overdose. I believe they thought he just Daniel might have just thought he had a little weed. Comes to find out that is in fact not the case. So
Mm-hmm.
Kristen, because he and she and the rest of the family are used to this, kicks right into action. She knows what to do. She's got the Narcan and is ready to nurse her brother back to health. And Daniel does as he should do, calls Jax immediately
Yeah.
to get her on the line and get her to the house. And there ensues a discussion. We've got doctors, we've got Jax and the well, she's the only lawyer at the time. They're at the house. The whole family and business management are here. And we learned that Ozzy has a history of this. He's done stints in rehab. The family is true to this, not new to this. And nobody thought that it would be beneficial for Jax to have this information going into this whole debacle.
So the
Mhm.
family aspect of it is pretty interesting to me. You said it very well when you talk about the child starving and all the connections there. I always look at that as, man, somebody failed him, right? We
Mhm.
even get into this a little bit with Dr. Owens, the safe
Yeah.
space. There is no such thing as a safe space. Haven't been in a safe space since I was in the crib.
Mhm.
And you look at it and say, man, the parents should have done more. They should have been more hands on. And I think that it's just a big machine. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody knows how to attack that buzz saw when
Mhm.
you're involved. It's a whirlwind, it's a hurricane, however you want to say it. And once you get into it and caught up and you become a star, the same way that Ozzy was from
Mhm.
since he was 10 years old, adults probably benefit more off that than the kids.
For
Their
sure.
life changed. And I'm not saying that they did Ozzy wrong, but I don't know how much support or how much support there was for them on
Mhm.
how to actually guide your kid and yourself through this whole thing.
Mhm.
Um, Something a little bit funny with the dad. I don't know if that's his frustration. Obviously, we'll talk about addiction because not only with Ozzy, but we'll talk about Jack's dad. Um, I don't know if that's his frustration of he'll stop when he dies. That's like that lack of faith. That
Yeah.
is one of those feelings that some people have when they have to um, stay close to someone who is battling addiction. That
Mhm.
could be one way to look at it. You could look at it as a mom. Like, how could you say that? You still got to keep going every single day. So this is part of their routine. And as you mentioned, it's easier for us to just keep everything under wraps, keep doing the same thing we've been doing, call the
Mhm.
doctor on the side, come and sneak him over middle of the night, throw him some paper, keep this out the news, and call it a day. Because this was a shock to everyone,
Yeah.
guests included, viewers included. We weren't expecting to see all that, which going into the Dr. Owens of it all, and she explains to Jax after finding out information of sexual abuse, um, drug use, the idea of just being an actor and always trying to get into a character. Like he's going through all this, he's on trial for murder, and he's still trying to charm her. Just letting Jax know, like you have an explosive
Yeah.
on your hand right now. This is not going to. Only person you trust right now is you. And what happens when he stops doing that?
For sure.
Which of course was a little bit of foreshadowing into Jack's not. We don't have to get into it now, but Jack's not want to tell the partners about the private matter that came up, and then of course her spilling the beans to Bill. Because if Bill goes back and he tells that and that gets out, now Jax is no longer someone that he trusts, and then boom, we have that explosion that Dr. Owens is worrying about. So um yeah, the sexual assault, I'm glad that that was discussed mainly
Yeah.
because and I've seen this more of a conversation, especially amongst black men.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just the braggadocious ways of how young you were when you had your first sexual experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, who was it with, or was an older woman, and not realizing that yo, you a victim,
For
you were
sure.
sexually assaulted, and the thought of oh, it's different because I'm a guy, or I liked it, or you're too young. I've spoken about this on Culture Garden, where even when you're 16, 17, 18, you feel like you know everything in the world, and when
For
you're
sure.
34, 35, 36, you realize you didn't know anything at all. And one thing from the emotional maturity standpoint, you're really not there. You're not developed. You think you are, but you're really not. So all of that really plays a factor, and you can see it in Ozzie right now. So having that conversation is really important, just because you are the one that's expected to be, sexually dominant or sexually aggressive, doesn't mean that you can't be assaulted. Even if you do like it when, whoever somebody on set touch you in a place that you thought was cool at 13, like nigga, no, you got some trauma you got to deal with.
You took
Um,
the exact words,
mm-hmm.
especially at 13. As a, I'm not saying it like that, but especially as a boy, when they talk about puberty and your hormones, 13, you just started your nocturnal emissions. You know what I'm saying? And so here is this here is this adult woman doing something to physically make you feel good, and because you're 13, you don't understand the mental and emotional impact that has and will have on you.
Yeah. And, oh, to your just alone, just
Hmm.
not to add on all the other stuff, the fandom and the fame, the stardom, the pressures of being a breadwinner
Yeah.
at that age.
Yeah.
All of that is just a ticking time bomb, and it makes you see the human side for Ozzy, even though he is out there and he is an actor, and as his sister said, actors are pretty eccentric.
Hmm.
I can't. Ever since you pointed it out, Rachel, I can't stop thinking about him slapping himself in the face trying to get in a role. Yes, officer. Like, it's just I expect to see that all throughout this trial. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when we get to the actual trial portion of this season and seeing him in court and really trying to appease to the jury and the public eye. I just don't see it, man. I mean, I just don't see it being genuine.
Yeah.
And the truth is something that just escapes him because he lives in a reality. Every day he lives in a different reality. Like, this isn't even my real life. I couldn't even. This has really had me thinking, and I promise you this. It's really made me think about, damn, what's it like being an actor to really jump in and out of character? Like, how do you keep track of who you are in the midst of all that? It's very interesting.
I think you got a little crazy in you.
You have to, right? You have to. You really have to.
and,
It's just fascinating.
and that's just the bottom line. When we think of how many actors and actresses and comedians and whatnot suffer from depression, and you're going in and out of these roles, like something ain't wrapped too tight. Shout out to you. I love you for your craft and your dedication to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's especially when you consider these child stars and what they've seen, and we've obviously just talked about the assault of it all, but think of how many documentaries and whatnot we saw this summer or last year about all these child stars and these
Mm-hmm.
true Hollywood stories. Like, there is no telling what he's seen, and he's been on this path since he was very small. Now, I do have a controversial take on all of this.
Okay.
And I'm saying it early. Monica Wilson, played by Brandy Evans, who is the manager,
Yeah. She did it.
I think she may be the assailant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think she, or for sure, somebody in the family, because I'm torn. Honestly,
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
in the murder of it all. It's low key between Monica and Kristen for me.
Um, any rhyme or reason that's how he got there was just a gut feeling.
Mostly it's just a gut, but as far as Monica goes, she's the only one not related in their inner circle
Yeah.
to him. Um, her level of involvement, you're very close. Her immediate attitude towards Wendy at the top of it, in hindsight, is this just overprotection or is there a tinge of jealousy going on with your reaction to this? Multiple things can be true. So I just have that in the back of my mind. In regards to Kristen being potentially the actual murderer, because we did learn at the end of the episode that Ozzie does in fact have an alibi. We learned also that Kristen will do anything for her brother,
Mm-hmm.
feels the safest with her. We learned this week that Kristen has been smuggling Ozzie drugs for years in an effort to protect him so that he's just not out getting dirty, stepped on ass
Yeah.
drugs
Lace.
from
Yeah.
somebody else, as to which this batch clearly wasn't that great.
Fair.
But again, she proactively jumped into action. She dumps the stash. Daniel, because he is an investigator, he obviously catches her. And her response is, I told you not to judge. Nobody is wrapped that tight. And imagine being the sister or the sibling of a star,
Mm-hmm.
a child star who we watched, who the world has watched grow up. And because you're the celebrity, because you're the breadwinner, you get the attention of our parents. You get the doting, not just the family, the whole world has their eyes on you. And here I am as an older sister. I'm going to protect you, but there's no way that you don't feel some kind of way about that if that emotion is not dealt with. Obviously everybody here knows I'm in the beehive. But Miss Tina, she talks about putting Solange and Beyonce in therapy as children, as Beyonce star Rose in Houston. Ozzy and them don't give. We're making sure all of our children are mentally sound and set,
Mm-hmm.
while all of our focus is on just one.
Very true. Very true.
Mm.
Strong connection. It's rough. And it kind of leads, but what I said, like that, they should know better by now,
For
but they
sure.
didn't know better at the start.
Hmm.
Who knows, man? Ozzy just got it. He's a tortured soul. Now, the one thing I will say before we move on, I think I don't know if we really had any suspicion that Osby is the one that was responsible
Hmm.
for Wendy's death. However, it was pretty much confirmed in therapy.
Arrested Development.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hadn't been, he was clean for 2 years,
Hmm.
and Wendy's missing amongst other things. Him being the one that's the main suspect. Everything else caused him to use again. Which Jackson mentioned at the end of the episode. She had a theory when she called Daniel and said, "Hey, I think he was on that night. He just wasn't by himself." Any idea of who you think this Alex is? And it sounds like a co-star
Yes.
from My Cousins and Them.
Yes.
Sounds like maybe somebody who is. We know he has something to hide. What that is, I don't know. Maybe he's a rising star. Maybe he has his career that he wants to look out for. But for some reason, it just seems much deeper than that. There's something else going on between the two of them to why they can't bring it up. Because if I'm Ozzy, because here's the kicker, Rachel.
Hmm.
It's one thing if Alex doesn't want to say anything. If I'm Ozzy, the first thing I would have said, like, yo, this nigga Alex is with me all night. Fuck the drugs and all that. I don't know if that's something that he's trying to keep secret from the
I
family.
think that's in fact part of it. Because the
Man,
remember
murder?
remember though, On this call, Alex starts with damn the stash ran out already.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is obviously, I believe he's a co-star based off of the dialogue that they had, or a former co-star at minimum. So maybe on the next project, Alex isn't quite on it, but he was on My Cousin and Them with him for a number of years. So there is that
Yeah.
relationship. All the things I've done for you, maybe I've continued to look out for you when you couldn't get roles. And so now you've turned to a life of being my pusher man.
Yeah.
And the world can't know that I'm on drugs. Alex, maybe he's had a recent break and there's something for him to do. So now I have to also protect my cover. And I'm not gonna go to jail for this dope dealing because you got fucked up. I'm just not doing it.
Isn't it?
So figure it
But
out.
isn't it interesting that Kristen doesn't know? Like, usually, if something were to happen, you start thinking about, all right, who would have been in proximity?
Hmm.
Who would have known? Like, you know what I mean? So it seems like Alex is just all the way off the radar when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Because nobody once said, where was Alex? I don't know. I don't know. It's a,
Cause maybe they not tight like that.
yeah, maybe that's it.
I get my drugs from you. We ain't clearly they're not friends.
Yeah. I hope
This
not.
is
I
yeah,
hope not.
this is a transactional relationship that has the quote unquote, dare I say, benefit of history. That's it. They're not friends. So my mind isn't gonna go to, oh, him and Alex were probably kicking it. Here is a number of people who he was likely with because Ozzie does in fact seem like a loner. And here, oh damn.
What's up?
I'm just thinking about his sexual abuse and why he was with old ass Wendy.
Mm, yeah, damn indeed.
Mm. But yeah, so you don't have anybody. But also, Kristen probably not thinking that because Kristen worried about how she gonna cover her own tracks.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
drug and the murder.
Everybody got some shit going on.
Yeah.
All right, but we'll keep an eye on that.
Let's
Really, three more things to talk about
yeah.
by my accounts. We and all centered around Jax or Jackson Lewis. We have to talk about Jackson, her dad coming back. We have to talk about Jackson and her treatment at work,
Hmm.
and we also have to talk about the Naima and what she heard or didn't hear.
Yeah, let's do the Lewis and Naima together. And then we can end with Jax since it's her episode.
Isn't it
Isn't it
you know
ironic?
shout out, yeah, isn't it ironic indeed? Because you want to have these open and honest conversations with your kids and making a space where they're comfortable telling you things, but you're not expecting to hear something that's actually true and makes you look like a bad person.
Yeah.
We already talked about the there is no laying around because
Hmm.
you're suspended from school. And before we even get there, I guess it's good to point out we see Naima hanging out with some new friends.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny, I watched an episode from season one
Hmm.
like last week and just how small Naima was compared to what she is now.
Yeah.
But she was friends with Hattie, who was Tony's daughter.
Hmm.
And now she's hanging out with these two girls. I didn't know if it was the weekend. I didn't know what it was, but obviously it looks like they're in some kind of shopping facility. And
Hmm.
I knew right away, just from being young, I knew exactly what the play was.
Oh, for
As soon
sure.
as I saw the Prada bag and I saw the truth or dare but pick there,
Hmm.
oh, they're gonna ask her to steal this purse. And of course, it's always the one person who does it that gets caught. It's never they don't care about whose idea it was. They care about who did it.
If you thought that the soul black girl was not going to be caught stealing in the Prada store, you're out of your fucking mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I understand that Naima is young, but with how woke Jackson Lewis are, I am having a difficult time. We know she knows better.
Yeah, imagine that hasn't been explicitly walked through, right? Like forever, when we Netflix forever, there was
Mhm.
an episode when Wood Harris, who played the dad, talked to Justin and pretty much gave him the rundown. What happens if you get pulled over by a cop?
Mhm.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is because you can tell it's something they've discussed over and over and over again. With Jax being a lawyer and knowing what it's like going to be like for a daughter out there in these privileged ass areas, you would have think that they had the same scenario where we go over this over and over and over.
Yeah. And I'm not even speaking to the legality of it all. The dynamics of this new friend group, I have trouble with the fact that maybe Jackson Lewis didn't raise an eyebrow sooner. Yes, we know that you've not been hanging out with Hattie. Okay. But I want to say something without it sounding, oh well. Jackson Lewis are not the black parents that shy away from blackness
Yeah.
despite their success. So it's hard for me that they didn't raise I have a hard time thinking that they did not raise an eyebrow when Naima goes from a more diverse friendship group to being the sole black girl. That's a little tough for me as somebody who went to Catholic school pre-K through 12. Um, and only pre-K through first grade was I at the black Catholic schools. So there is a conversation that happens when you, especially with black parents who are very happy and content in their blackness and live a black life. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Naima doesn't know the nuances is bothersome, and I understand that she's a child, but you also are old enough to know some things. And here, I was just very surprised by that. So of course, she's arrested. The only one arrested because they left her black ass there. Because
Mm-hmm.
why would the store clerk, despite them walking in together, why would the store clerk think that they're together? You're the only
Right.
black girl. You don't
Right.
look like you belong with this group. If I'm profiling, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Naima learns a very hard lesson. And I know that this sucks because who wants to get arrested? Super embarrassing. You're suspended from school. But also, I wouldn't even be hanging out with these bitches if my best friend did not lie to me about some shit that's actually very true about my family.
Yeah, that's the part of it. So who knows?
Can't stand
Not
liars.
not a parent, but maybe they initially looked at this as teenage girl shit.
Hmm.
To your point, everything you said kind of excuses that,
Yeah.
or doesn't give it an excuse. Should I say? You should still be having these conversations. But now that I'm actually sitting down and figuring out what's what, because the first thing Lewis said, well, where are these other friends? Some
Yeah.
friends, huh? Well, of course, no kid's gonna stick around and get arrested with you. Right? That's
Right.
just how it works. However, Naima's going through the rundown of her and Hattie's issues.
Hmm.
She's on this new dance team, and they're at that age, right? Which is why I said earlier, maybe they're just chalking it up. Hey, glow up season, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the first glow up of their lives, one
Mhm.
of many. And the braces that came off, and wearing a little makeup. She on the dance team now. She got some, what I'm saying? She got some new friends now. She doing the TikTok trends. And she just be making shit up. She just makes stuff up to talk to her new friends about and fit in. And this how I know she crazy because she told me this a lot. She
Mhm.
told me that you were, me and her were like sisters, and that was my baby brother, and he died. And you slept with her mom. And
Why you
Lewis at that moment, what do you? I sat there and I saw the look on Lewis's face, and I'm thinking, damn, do you say something right now, or do you wait and talk to Jax for a game plan? Because I wanted to say, man, just say it right now. But I don't. I also don't want to open up that can without talking to my partner or my wife first and making sure we she's not walking into any kind of surprise. Imagine coming home from work and you realize that shit's just out.
Yeah, it's tricky for
It's
sure.
rough. It's rough.
Both things are true for me. So in that moment, Lewis is lost for words,
Yeah, as he should be.
as you should be. Howsoever, in playing it cool, he allowed Naima, who hates liars, to believe that she is totally right for ditching Hattie.
Mm-hmm.
So you are adding compound interest to the situation.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
In the trailer, uh, after the first episode, there is a video of Naima essentially finding out the truth. And it's not from the conversation with Jax and Lewis. So I think you are correct. He should have had this conversation, and maybe you don't divulge everything at this moment. Or again, we see Lewis and Jax at the end of this episode saying, okay, we've got to sit the kids down. Spencer will be back in 2 weeks. Obviously, 2 weeks might be too long. I don't know.
Yeah.
This thing might be next week that the shit really, really hits the fan in their household, in the Stewart house. He got to say something.
Got to.
You gotta, unfortunately, while Jax is having dinner with her father, you might gotta shoot her a text like, look, I know we said we would never say anything, but she knows I have to say something. And maybe you say, me and your mother, actually, thank you for sharing this with me. Me and your mom would like to talk to you together about just you and Hattie, because that is your best friend. It has been your best friend for all of these years. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a good way of doing it.
even if you don't immediately say, hey, she wasn't fucking lying. That was my baby. Out
Yeah.
of happy.
Yeah.
You say, you know what I'm saying?
Not 100%.
So it was a misstep, but I understand not having shit to say. And I know the face of a nigga when you confront him about a baby, they don't be having shit to say. You know what
And that indeed was Lewis's face because he had nothing to say.
I mean?
And Lewis is a very smart man. He had zero to say.
He ain't dumb worth a damn.
He was
You
shook.
got the language, but you
Yeah,
have
he was shook.
to say.
And the embarrassing fact, and that's your job too, as the adult, as a parent. Your
Mhm,
job is to
mhm.
have the conversations, the difficult ones, and
Yeah.
just try to be that better. That's the whole point. Jack even came up. Like, I feel like my dad's not hiding something.
Mhm.
I do not. We have to break the cycle. I don't want to be that to our kids because then
Yeah.
it leads to this, what we're about to see with Naima and her parents. And I think what you said was perfect. I do want to spend some time, sit down, even if it's we have a dinner, and all sit down together. We ain't going out.
Yeah.
We ain't going out. Fuck that.
No, this in the house.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the house, but we have a dinner. Want to do it when Spencer's back.
Mhm,
Kind of talk about things that you might hear
mhm.
in general, and Hattie, and let's do it when Spencer gets back, and that
For
can
sure.
kind of calm the flames or
For sure.
calm
And
that fire.
we didn't even add Naima definitely needs to talk, because not just have I lost my best friend for being a lying ass girl who ain't really lying, but feeling herself. You talked about Naima's growth between season one and now. Like, her body is changing. She's going through the things. Also, puberty, blah, 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 blah. But Spencer is gone. Your brother is
Hmm.
no longer in the house. Your brother, who was also your sounding board and safe haven, partner in crime while y'all together dealt with your parents' bullshit.
Hmm.
That is also um that also needs an adjustment. Like, she has to deal with that. That is also another level and layer of, I don't want to say trauma, but trauma, because your other safe space is gone. Our home was unstable, but me and my brother had each other. Now,
Adjustment is certainly needed.
yeah, yeah. So shout out to them. They got some explaining to do.
They
I'm giving
do.
Naima a little bit of grace, but still, girl, don't be out here fucking stealing And that was a Prada bag. She definitely could have. She's a child, but she definitely would have got a felony because
Mm-hmm.
that's over $500, girl.
Got to do better. Got to do better. Hopefully, Naima learns from this and she doesn't go down this path any further. But I am curious to see when we're going to have that conversation. Moving on to
Gonna be in a
Jack.
diversion class, getting that record expunged.
Oh, we can't have Naima out here like that, man.
No,
Too
for
young.
real,
You got too bright of a
for
future. Too
real.
bright of a future.
Shout out to the
Um,
high places.
yeah, absolutely. Last week's episode ended with Jack's father making an unannounced visit to the
Mm,
front door. And this episode starts with that same carryover.
yeah.
We know if you've been watching the show that you've heard about Jack's father.
Shout out to
There has
Richard.
been some. So what?
Shout out to Richard Brooks.
Shout out to Richard Brooks.
Mhm.
Shout out to the Queen Pauletta Washington who plays her
Yep.
mom,
Yeah.
as well. But very traumatizing stuff, very sad stuff when it comes to Jack's meeting her father there because of some of the things that she went through,
Hmm.
her own sexual abuse,
Hmm.
sexual assault as a child, but also those dates that were kept or set up. Dad's in town,
Hmm.
want to get together for dinner. Jack shows up, nobody's there. So this has been a cycle, and obviously he shows up. He announced that he's been sober for 5 years. Go ahead.
She ain't seen him in 8.
Ain't seen him in 8. Been
Hmm.
sober for 5. Most telling thing is Lewis is the one that you and listen when the husband, the wife, the spouse,
Hmm.
when they don't fuck with you, then you know it's bad.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you hurt the person I love way too many times.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't have enough to tell you to get out of here, but I do have enough to sit here and not shake your hand, tell
Yeah.
you when it's time to leave, everything else.
You need to leave.
Yeah, very. You need to leave. Shout out to that video. Very pissed off to say the least.
Yeah.
And Dad just wants to catch up
Hmm.
and maybe explain himself a little bit. Maybe it can be dinner. Doesn't even have to be dinner. It can be coffee.
Yeah.
Jax keeps it cool. Tells him, next time you think about coming over, don't. Lewis lets him know you said your piece. It's time to go. And while we see Jax, kind of brushing it off, we see her also close that door.
Hmm.
A lot of emotion, a lot of weight. And as someone who has history and experience with someone who you love dearly, who's going through substance abuse, who's going through drug abuse, who was an addict,
Hmm.
who's been in rehab, that's a very fresh sign of things because there is a lot of anger that's built up with it. But there's also the side where I can understand where he just wants to be heard out.
Hmm.
And it's damn, how do you find that line and how do you find that balance? And I think Jack said something that's very important. When she did finally, after being ambushed at dinner, but once she did actually decide to go to dinner, she made a decision and told him, if you're deciding that you want to get to know me, you have to commit to this.
Yeah.
And that's well within her right to say that up front. Like, listen, I'm not doing this back and forth bullshit with you. If this
Mhm.
doesn't work, it's done forever.
Yeah.
We're not about to keep doing it. And who knows? Like I said, it sounds like her whole life she's been dealing with this. It's probably way past due for it. But do you think Dad is gonna stay true? Is he gonna stick around? Is he gonna be that dad that he never was for Jax? Or do you think this is just something else that Jax is gonna have on her plate as she balances everything else out in life?
Um, I think he's gonna do his best to actually be around. But to her point, it's definitely some shit. He probably is dealing with the effects of his abuse, maybe some cirrhosis,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some sort of health issue that he now has, and he is doing his best to make amends.
Not, I was gonna say, not to mention that also when Mama, um, when she comes into the fold,
They
she
definitely
gives the
fuck.
yeah, they definitely fucking without question, 100%. They've been fucking.
Yeah.
But when she comes into the fold, she gives a perspective of just getting older,
Hmm.
and as life changes, as you get older, sometimes you just want that. You look at the world differently. You
Yeah.
start thinking about. I quote this all the time from the photograph.
Mhm.
Isaac when he said, "Don't get older." less people to talk to, more time to live with your regrets
Mm-hmm.
or think about your regrets. And that's kind of, I think you start thinking about the things you could have done differently. And I
Yeah.
think she wanted that for her baby daddy, for lack of better terms. Nah, but for Jack's dad, I think she wanted that for him. Give him a shot because not only do you know what it's not know what it's like to be an addict, you don't know what it's like to get older and
Mm-hmm.
realize that you've seen more years than you're going to see in the future,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of stuff that you just can't carry with you. It might literally kill you
Yeah.
holding on to all of this. So give him that opportunity, whether he deserves it or not. He deserves that redemption. Seems like dad is ready for it, but we'll see. I don't know. That's a whole slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your trust in that over and over because you got to deal with the heartbreak. It's usually not just once. It usually happens
Yeah.
multiple times, and Jax is very well versed in that. So um, I'm hoping that it works out. There's a part of me. You made your bold prediction.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me that think that in the very opening of the season, when we see Jax open the door, that might be dad.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. Just seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like it could be. Just saying that, I don't know. Maybe something happens and he relapse.
Mhm.
I don't know. Could be
Yeah.
Ozzie. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about that portion. I know we can. You can. I'll toss it over to you for the last segment, which is Jack's at work.
Bruh. We see Jax being undermined left and right. Like there is nothing that she can do. And we know we have watched for 2.25 seasons now, Jax be extremely good at her damn job. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Albeit her methods may not be the way the firm would like her to do things, but Jax specializes in results. Shout out to Tony Childs. But
Mm-hmm.
she gets the job done. She gets people off. She finds the bones. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very interesting to see the partners, senior and junior, have so much smoke for Jax this season. And we learned that they blame her for Corey Cash leaving, even though, yes and no.
Yeah.
It ain't what y'all think. Y'all think it's because she just is bulldozing, but that is not the case. I'm very
Right.
curious. It's clear to me that they're trying to get her to fuck up out of here, despite the firm benefiting from her name and her expertise and this, that, and the third. But there is definitely going to be some sort of split happening, and they trying to get Jax out of here.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that because they talk about it with Bill. You said it
Mhm.
earlier. I don't know the inner workings. I know when you talk about big corporations and
Not a clue.
boards.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know when you're a partner like that. Does anybody have the authority to remove you? Like I said, businesses and corporations, they have boards of
Mhm.
trustees. They can have a vote, and that shit can happen.
Yeah,
Can it happen with law firms?
absolutely.
Okay.
Same way. The same way, because
Mm.
you can same way you get hired, you can get fired, you can leave. Um, unless you own the thing, you can always get fired. And even then, there are boards. You can be ousted. You
Mm-hmm.
can get a golden parachute package, but unless I was gonna say unless your name's Door, but we know her name's Door. But unless it's your shit, you can go very easily. And so we see them undermining Jax in meeting. We see them fraternizing with Bill to get Jax up out of here, to undermine her work, to spy and know exactly what it is she has going on. But things really come before I even get there. Jax says, "This is not how I work. Y'all know how I work. I don't need to explain every little detail to you. My name rings bells in these legal streets.
Yeah.
All you need to know is that I'm billing these hours because I bill the most. I'm bringing in the clientele, the supreme
At a
clientele,
at a higher hourly rate.
low key, damn near probably the highest. And that's
Yeah.
why they're mad. Now, we talked last week about Jax feeling herself. And as a black woman, bitch, talk your shit. Cause
Mm-hmm.
you've earned that right. Unfortunately, there is a very fine line uh between doing that and then when you start to make the boss uncomfortable. Jax be on
Mm.
that line.
All right.
She
I think,
white, but she be on that line.
and, and I
And
think she alluded to it even when,
just because we talking about race or tap dancing on that line, but she be on that motherfucker back and forth.
yeah, and I think she knows that because she even
Mhm.
mentioned the bill. Like, is it? I'm starting. Is it me?
Yeah.
But she does a really good job, or at least we've seen her do a really good job of walking that line dangerously close, but never crossing it. I
Mm-hmm.
think some of it with this episode was being directly disrespected. There's one thing to have the little, like I said, the microaggressions, but
Mm-hmm.
when you are out in the open in front of everybody, and
Oh,
I'm your superior,
Kathy is out
like
of her goddamn mind.
Kathy is crazy.
But here is the thing. Kathy, like Bill, was also privy to other conversations that Jax is not. Not just because you're black, but because I feel like the partners, I have a level of comfort to say what I think everyone is thinking. What they might be thinking. But you're out of your fucking mind if you feel like that's appropriate. And reluctantly, Big Boss is like, gotta go see HR.
Gotcha.
Girl, she's lucky Jack's
Immediately.
cute because I actually probably would have cussed her the fuck out the way I've been
Now I'm
feeling.
glad Jack's in it. I'm glad Jack's in it for real. Now I'm glad she did.
You
And it
can't
would have
get
been
seconds
deserving.
for a reason.
It would have
Mm-hmm.
been deserving, but now you got to go to. You know what I mean? It just comes too much. So I'm glad she didn't. But you can tell she was rightfully agitated
Yeah.
and confused and appalled. Because who are you? That's another thing too. Who the fuck are you to be talking to me? You know what I mean? Like, who are you? Like, what is? I don't even. What? Who are you?
The company letterhead. Check the doors.
If you
My
got any
name is all over
questions,
this motherfucker, not
yeah,
yours.
yeah.
You wish that you could do what I do.
Wish you could work it like me.
You,
Um, Yeah, and I love that was one of my favorite moments of the entire series, let
yeah.
alone season. Just her being able to pop her shit off because, for one, this all started with her defending her clients.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know we in this meeting we talk about we're one big firm, but my clients, emphasis on my.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't something that I can run. You can run and laugh about with your frat boys. Like this is
Yeah.
something that my client told me in confidence. I'm not just about to disclose this information so you can have a little joke or a little dinner party, whatever the case may
Right.
be. So that's one. I'm irritated by you think that shit being cool.
Yeah.
Two, check the letterhead. Check all this shit. I run it. Like I said, most billable hours,
Bitch.
highest hourly rate. You got any questions? All your answers are gonna be found there.
That's it. That's
And
it.
that's all it comes down to. But I don't know, man. I just feel I wish I was. And she mentioned this, right? You guys think that being the only black woman, excuse me, black person in
Person.
this room gives me the freedom to do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds crazy, and saying it out loud is
Crazier. Because
yes,
it's the exact reason why I can't.
yeah. And she even told him, I'm not about to tap dance around here for y'all. Like I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather get my stuff and leave
Yeah.
because if I do, to Rachel's point, cut y'all clean the fuck out like I want to, then I lose every single piece of leverage.
For
So
sure.
I'd rather just pack up my bags and bounce. And once again, my name's all over this motherfucker.
Shout out to Molly going to the black firm.
Shout out to Molly going to a black firm. Absolutely. She
Jackson.
did not have these issues. And she found, well, Jackson don't need love, but she found love as well. So
For sure.
um
Well, but
the biggest thing is as we go into the next episode is and continue the season, should I say, what is it that Steven and Vince have plans? What are these conversations that everybody's a part of except for Jax? I do predict that Bill is going to be the one to loop her in. Jax is going to hold it down in a major
yeah,
way, and Bill's going to get to the point where he's like, "Damn, I got to tell you something."
yeah,
Um, and hopefully she has the upper hand. And it's kind of off. Maybe she already knows. Maybe she already had it. Who knows? I don't know. Jax had a lot going on.
for sure. It's for damn sure cool going on.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they're gonna try to get her out of there. That's it. They want her gone.
All right. Well, Rachel, Anything
Kyron.
else before we finish this episode?
No. Shout out to everybody running their towns. Shout out to this episode. Um, shout out to you. Also, shout out to being a good parent and dealing with life because it doesn't just
Hmm.
happen to you. Shout out to everybody having to deal with the consequences of their actions.
And shout out to you, most importantly.
Oh, thank you. And
Most
shout out to
importantly.
the listeners and viewers. Thank you guys so much for your support. We appreciate you. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share at We Got Y'all, We Got Y'all Pod. Tap in, let us know your thoughts if you're watching, or if there's something that you want us to be covering, even if it's already in production. Pause. Task is fucking phenomenal.
So I
On
haven't started it, but I heard it was great.
phenomenal.
I'll start it tonight.
If there's something that you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments, or you can email at we got y'all podcast at gmail.com. Thank you so much, Kyron. Thank you. I love you. Y'all
Love
be cool.
you.
How y'all be cool? Protect your neck.
We
Peace.
out always. We out, y'all.
Bye. Thank you.